Alright, if you are ready for phase 0, this video is for you. Phase 0 is basically the phase that you're in if you are less than 6 weeks postpartum. Let's say you are 4 weeks postpartum and you haven't gotten a thumbs up from your doctor, but you're ready to start getting into some gentle movement to kind of prevent any kind of changes to your posture. This is perfect. This is also perfect if you know that you have some kind of abdominal separation, you have some diastasis recti, maybe about 2 or 3 finger width of separation when you do the test. And I'll also include the assessment that you can use to check. And this will be great for you in that case. If you know you have it and you really want to correct it before starting any type of movement, this is very gentle. This is very good for your pelvic floor because I'll be cueing you to contract those muscles and really contract them, pull them up and strengthen those muscles along with your deep inner core muscles during this training. So be sure to pay attention for my cues. We're about to get into it. So the first exercise is a half kneeling hip flexor stretch. And this is really good because what this does is, of course, it improves your balance, but it also trains your pelvis to tuck. And so usually in this, we're leaned forward. We kind of let our stomach come out as we breathe. With this, you want to pull in your core, sit upright, and tuck your pelvis. And what you're doing with this is just a simple pulse. You're going to do that 10 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're going to come down to both knees and lift up the opposite side. Again, you want to correct your form and posture. So you're going to bring your pelvis underneath you. Don't let yourself lean forward. You don't want to see any type of arch or curve in your back. You want to lean backwards and tuck your pelvis underneath you. So your pelvis is directly underneath your rib to hip. Okay? Shoulder to hip. You should be in perfect alignment if your fingers are pointed down. And you're going to hold this pose, again, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, when you do this, you want to lift your chest and separate your shoulders. And what this is doing is, of course, again, improving your posture. So we're going to do that again on the other side. Again, with the pulses, make sure that you're in alignment first. So bring your pelvis underneath you. Pull in from your belly button. Make sure that you're in correct alignment by dropping your fingertips and making sure they go straight down. It's helpful to have a mirror for something like this. Now pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another thing I want you to visualize when doing this exercise is you doing a Kegel, and basically you'll be contracting those muscles of your vaginal sphincter and your anal sphincter. You'll be contracting those muscles. And what that does during this exercise is it really just strengthens and pulls up your pelvic floor. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Bring up your foot. Keep it into alignment so your toes should be straight. And make sure that your pelvis is tucked underneath you. Don't roll forward, tuck it under. Your shoulder should be right above your hip. And you can bring your arms up if you feel comfortable doing so, when you feel comfortable doing so, and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And drop your feet. All right. So the first thing that you want is a something stable. Okay. This could be a chair. This could be a firm couch. This could be anything, right? But it needs to be about the height of your shin. So below your knee. All right. So what we're going to do is get onto it about the height of our shoulder blades. And we're going to lean onto it, hands down. And your feet should be not too far from the bench. You're going to let your head drop, let your butt drop, and then pull it up. And when you're doing this, you should also be contracting those sphincters, and you should also be pulling in your core muscles. So you're going to go down and up. And you can spread your legs to be a little bit more comfortable. Your toes, it's fine if they go a little bit outward, but you don't want them to go fully outward. You want to have some control. Let it drop and pull it up. You should feel it in your hamstrings and your glutes. Go slow. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, and last one, 8. All right, so we're going to do 2 sets of these. And this is an exercise that you will feel, but it's really good to start pulling your core muscles back together, as well as providing some strength for your leg muscles. All right, so this next exercise is going to be cat-cow. And you probably heard this a lot in yoga, and that's usually where it's done. But what this is basically belly breathing combined with movement. And so you're going to be on your hands and knees, okay? And you're going to contract your abdominal muscles, and then you're going to let them relax. Now, the one thing that I think is very important to note, especially in a postpartum program, is that if you have any abdominal separation, you don't want to let your stomach muscles completely relax. You don't want to arch your back. You just want to bring it to a neutral spine. And why that's important to note is because in arching your back and letting those stomach muscles overextend, a lot of times it can cause more damage if you're not doing it correctly, okay? So you want to make sure that in all movements, you're keeping a neutral spine and letting those abdominal muscles contract so that you can train them to contract and pull back together, okay? So let's get started with that. We're going to do 8 to 10 repetitions. Let's just say we're going to do 10. So we're going to bring our legs out. We're going to come up and down to a neutral spine. Up. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. In and out. Take a deep breath in. Make sure you're not letting your muscles relax, and bring it up. Breathe in. Bring air into your lungs and then let it out. I was so focused on my breathing, I haven't been counting. Let's say we have about 2 more, y'all. Come on. Breathe in. Come all the way up and contract those abdominal muscles. Suck in your stomach muscles from the belly button and let it out. And when we're coming in, we're also pulling up those sphincters and doing a Kegel at the same time, and let it out and relax. And when you relax, it becomes a neutral spine. That is cat-cow. Now, I would suggest doing 2 sets of those when you do this exercise. This is a very good exercise to focus on your breathing well, and also just kind of pulling everything together and not letting your stomach come to a full expansion, okay? The expansion is what we want to train our stomach against, not just because we want to get it right, we want to keep it tight, but because we want to let those muscles come back in to really stitch themselves back together and have a good chance of doing so. So let's get into the next exercise. Let's see what we got here. The next exercise is open book. And this is how I like to do it. I know different people like to do it in different ways. I like to come to, let me push this out of the way. I like to come to my back. And I like to bring my heels in close to my butt and let my knees fall open and contract my abdominal muscles. So when I do that, I then bring my knees in together. So you're still contracting, you're still pulling up from your pelvic floor. You're letting your knees fall open. And then you're pulling them back in together using the outside thigh muscles, the inner thigh muscles, your glutes, your core, and your pelvic floor. So let's get started with that. Let's take a deep breath in. And we're going to start at 1. Let's go. Out and in. Out. Breathe out when you come, bring it in. Bring it up slow. Inhale. Exhale. That's 3. Inhale. Exhale. That's 4. Inhale. You should be feeling yourself contracting your abdominal muscles. That's 5. Out and in. That's 6. You should feel your abdominal muscles contract. That's 7. Make sure you're pressing your lower back to the floor also. That's 8. 2 more. 9. Last one. And 10. I want you to repeat the same exercise. And I want you to do another set of 10. And then we're going to get into the next exercise, which is, let's see, the clamshell, which is very similar. So what you're going to be doing is laying on your side. And you're going to put your heels together. Okay, click your heels. You're going to put your heels together. And you're going to bring that leg up and back down. And what you're going to be using is this outer leg muscle. And what we call this is the abductor of the thigh. And you're also going to be using your glutes to pull it up, but your core is engaging. Every time you should feel your core engage. And it might be a little hard at first. Don't be disappointed with yourself. Take the time and do it more often and consistently, and you will feel a difference. Trust me. So let's get started. 1. You want to bring it up slow. 2. 3. You can place your hand flat on the floor. 4. 5. 6. And you should feel it in your glutes. 7. Make sure you're contracting those muscles. 8. What those muscles do is they actually also help to align your pelvis. So that's 9 and 10. And we are going to do the other side on camera. So what those muscles do is they help to align your pelvis just like your core muscles. You have some muscles on the front that are stabilizers and some muscles on the back. And so the muscles, we're like, yes, I want to build my booty. True, that's what these muscles are going to do, and using more of the exercises that target them. However, it's also great for stabilizing your body. We need to be stable, and then we can start building, right? So we're going to get into position again. Heels together, and we're going to bring our legs together. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Bring it up slow. Bring it back down, and you should be contracting those abdominal muscles and those sphincters. So pull up your pelvic floor as you pull up your leg. All right, lay it down. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make sure you're taking it slow and taking a deep breath. 9, last one, and 10. And we're just bringing that knee straight up. It should be still in alignment with the other leg. All right. So that was great. This is an exercise that really kind of leaves you feeling a little bit stronger in the legs, especially when you haven't been doing that type of exercise. And then the last one is a body weight squat to balance. And basically it's a squat to deadlift. So we're going to be doing that exercise. All right. So now we're going to get into a squat to balance. I hope you guys can see me because I have like limited space right here. We're going to get into a squat to balance. All right. So we're going to come to a neutral position. Make sure that you are pulling in your core muscles and tucking your pelvis. If we're in a normal stance, like after we have a baby, usually I'm walking around like this. But I have to remind myself to align myself, right? So And getting into a squat, you want your feet to be about shoulder width apart. And I'm going to show you from the front angle so you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. So my feet are about shoulder width apart. And I usually put my hands together just because I have nowhere else to go. And you want your shoulders, you want to pull your shoulders apart. So imagine, again, spread your wings, right? Pull your shoulders back and apart. And we're going to come inch down slowly. And then come up slow. And then we're going to separate our arms and reach for the ground in a tabletop position. And come up slow. And this is how it looks from the side. You're going to come to a straight back and come up. And that's your balance position, okay? So let's get started. We're going to do 10 of those. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. Down and balance. And if you can touch your fingertips to the floor, that is fine, honey. 2 and balance. 3 and balance. 4 and balance. 5 and balance. So let me turn to the side for the next 5. So you can see my posture. I'm coming down, up, and balance. And you're kind of scooping with your hips. You're in a motion where you're coming down, up, and balance. That's 7. Down, up, and balance. That's 8. You should be squeezing your glutes, your hamstrings. All of these leg muscles, they should all be engaged as well as your core. This is 8. Balance. 9. And balance. Last one. Come down low. And up. And balance. Yes. So you have made it through the circuit. And didn't I tell you, it wasn't too bad. It is a gentle circuit that really helps to knit and stitch those muscles back together. And it also just kind of helps you to get into the movement, get into correct posture after having a baby. So if you are in phase 0, I'm so glad that you completed this workout. I will see you in the next phase, phase 1.